Hey guys, just a real quick market update from me tonight. I had already recorded a video warning about the potential of this move here, and we already got it. So basically, totally screwed over the video that I was making. So we're just going to take a different approach here. Just want to take a look at a few key levels that I'm watching right now. The reason why this move was a little bit on my radar here is, for one, you can see that I do have the beautiful MDX Algo 3 indicator on here, just making my chart look absolutely beautiful visually, but also very effective tool here. As you can see, I do have this little blue horizontal line down here, and I was watching this as a little bit of a support level, and I actually even did snipe a bit of a long before getting this move to the downside here very recently. But the reason I had this level outlined was, you can see back here, as we had this little dump yesterday, we set a low, a lower low, and an even lower low here. So our highest point between our last two lowest lows here, you can see that this ended up being our lower high here for the very short term here. This is just a 5-minute chart, so take it for what it is, guys. But this is just some micro analyzing I was looking at. So this was our higher low here. Like I said, we had a low, a lower low. Highest point between those two is here, so that's my higher low down from here. So I did have this as a level of interest. We obviously broke above it here, had this little pullback, and then ended up closing candles above this high. So here we did the opposite. We set a high and a higher high here. So our lowest point between those two is here. So the way I was looking at this market structure, here was our higher low at this level. So I had that outlined. You can see that it was respected as support for quite a while throughout this entire day, basically. I did end up sniping along this line looking for support here. You can see the MDX Algo 3 did a nice job having a little bullish divergence there as we found support as well. I did close part of my position up at these levels just because we did have this potential resistance up ahead. I had this mapped out earlier today. Well, I had it in my previous video, which I obviously didn't post here because of the timing there. But I was looking at possible resistance here. If we were going to break to the upside, we had many different targets I was looking for here, but just because I was looking at this, again, it's a 5-minute chart, so I was looking at more of a scalp, and that's why I closed part of my position in this box here. But I wanted to outline to you guys that if we dropped this support line, that would be a break in structure. Like I said, I mapped out this as a higher low on this little upward trajectory here. Very short time frame, but I was just watching that level as, you know, if we end up dropping that level, it's going to be a bit of a break in structure, and I could see us dropping pretty hard from there. Obviously, it lined up very nicely too with this indicator here. This green line going to the upside was another reason I was looking at this as potential support, just because this is actually a moving average on the hourly. That's something with these MDX Algo indicators that's absolutely beautiful. Kind of my favorite thing about this indicator lately is that you can add trend confluence of a different time frame from the chart you're on. So I am on a 5-minute chart, like I said here. However, I can add confluence to a TMA moving average. You can take a pick of whatever moving average you personally like. I like these settings. Lately, I've been liking the TMA 10 on the 1 hour. So this is 1 hour confluence, trend confluence here, and lining up with my 5-minute chart here. So I thought that, you know, if we drop that level, we're probably going to take a little dump to the downside. And yeah, so that was lining up quite well with my higher low, like I mentioned. And as we dropped that, we even came back up and got this little retest here. So a nice little bearish retest, flipping that support to resistance, pinpoint accurate, actually. So that was, you know, even though we don't all want to see it go to the downside, that was nice to see the technicals respected so well there. This doesn't look super great in my opinion. I mean, this is the 1 hour chart here. You can see that we do have some resistance. I think what Bitcoin needs to do, if there is any hope for the bulls in the short term here, is we need to claim this yellow resistance line, which we've obviously been testing a little bit for quite a while now. This dates all the way back to the middle of November, so a couple weeks here. And you can see it's been touched quite a few times. So if the bulls are able to push the price above this level and get resist flipping into support, and then getting some kind of a bull flag here. If we could get that break above here, retest, get this bull flag, and actually start clearing and reclaiming some of this old resistance here and flipping that into support. In that case, I think Bitcoin could be in a very good position. But personally, the fact that we just kind of got this, well, I mean, we had this beautiful double bottom here. And then we just kind of traded right back up into this resistance range right here. If I was to be bullish, I really would have liked to see the price get above that resistance and flip it into support rather than just kind of bouncing right back into resistance and trading sideways there. So we're going to have to see what happens. If the price is able to reclaim this box here, flip that from resist to support, I think Bitcoin would be in a nice position to test quite a bit higher. Some other levels that I would be interested in watching if we are to get a break to the upside would be this red resistance line I have here around 18,150, so anywhere between 18.1 and 18.2k there. But more importantly perhaps would be this purple line here, and this is just this wick we had up here to about 18.7k. You can see that I have an alert with this line, and this alert will actually go off on my phone every minute until I pay attention to it, because I think this could be an important level. Obviously, I think it'll be a while until we get to that point, and that's if we get a break to the upside. But I really think that if we do end up getting to this level, that the market would have a hard time pushing much above that the very first try. And the reason I say that is because I'm looking at this purple line as a lower high, because on this bigger time frame here, when we had this market sell-off here, you can see we set a low here and a lower low here. So again, our highest point between those two is right here. So this is the structure that I'm going to consider our lower high here. So I think what's more likely, if, again, that's a big if, there's a lot of what ifs between now and then, but if we end up getting up to this level, I really don't know if the bulls are going to be able to just smash right through it first try. I think it makes a lot more sense that we would get to this level and get some kind of a fake out at first, maybe some kind of a swing fail pattern at this level. I'd be very interested in zooming into shorter time frames like the 5-minute chart, 3-minute chart, that kind of thing, even 15-minute chart, and really seeing how we'd react with this level and potentially find a nice juicy short there if we do get there. But obviously, like I said, there's a lot of time between now and then. I think right now things are looking a little bit weak, and I personally wouldn't be too surprised just because, again, like I said, we bounced right up into resistance. Just that things are looking a little weak. I think it makes a lot of sense that we would actually end up dropping a little lower here and maybe even retesting this green support box. You guys know I love outlining these boxes and finding bullish divergences on them and that kind of thing. So I'd have to look into the indicators at a further date when we actually get back down to those levels if we are to get this breakdown. Obviously, for now, I am going to be treating this green line here as a bit of a higher low. So if we are able to actually come back down to this level and kind of find support again, maybe we do get this bounce from the bulls and start reclaiming some resistance levels as support. And you know what? A break of this downward sloping resistance line could be a beautiful thing for Bitcoin right now. If we are to drop to the downside, however, just looking for targets. I mean, if we drop this level, I would like to see what happens at this support level down here. Another thing I wouldn't mind doing is just pulling up Fibonacci's to see what kind of a level we might get a bounce at. Possibly targeting down towards 16k, even a little bit lower, would line up nice with the 618 fib. For those of you who have tuned in to my channel for quite some time now, you'll know that I'm actually more of a fan of the 786 and 886. For one, when you find entries at these levels, you have a tighter stop loss just because you're closer to your structure. But also, I've just found that we've been getting these Fibonacci's respected quite often. So the fact that the 786 actually lines up perfectly with this double bottom green support box that I mapped out, so that's kind of interesting. I really wouldn't be too surprised to see us come back down and test those levels before going higher. But obviously, like I said, we're going to have to see what happens. Gonna have to see what happens with the support levels we have before then. And like I said, if we do get a break above this yellow resistance box, I think Bitcoin could be in a nice position to climb a little higher. But yeah, those are just a few things that I wanted to outline. Just going for as I said, I think there's a good chance that we actually do break to the downside here. Something just to warn any late shorters about here. It'd probably be a better idea to wait for a bounce at this point, just because something to just warn the bears about is if I pull a Fibonacci from this level up to here. Yeah, just eyeballing it, I assumed we were kind of around that 886, 786. Like I said, those Fibonaccis are respected so well, so often. So to see it wick down perfectly to the 886 and the candle bodies are holding the 786 perfectly right there, I think it makes a lot of sense that we would end up testing this lower high right here. And obviously this is a very micro time frame. Like I said, this is the 5-minute chart, so we're going to have to see what happens. But interesting to see that now we do have the 1 hour trend confluence here flipping red. So I think it would make a lot of sense. Even if we do bounce to higher levels here, I think we're going to have a hard time kind of getting back above this resistance here. We'll have to watch how this resistance box is respected if we do get back up to those levels. But yeah, interesting. I always like, I know I've mentioned many times, I like to scalp on degenerate time frames and that kind of thing. So it's very cool with these MDX algo indicators that you can have trend confluence of longer time frames on a shorter time frame chart, because I really like trading the 5 and 15-minute charts, but I like to take a look and have a better understanding of the 4-hour and the hourly chart and that kind of thing. So it's before entering those positions, but I just zoom in for the actual pinpoint entry kind of a thing. So it's nice to see that we can bring these moving averages in on a longer time frame onto a shorter time frame chart. Very cool. And like I said, I just really like the way these indicators look, but there's a whole bunch of customization you can do, right up to the point you can have it lay out potential trade setups for you. This indicator will show where it figures, good entries are. Obviously, this one here would have been stopped out. It was going for a long here, but it was saying to do that after we had already dropped this line and my support line. So I would have been hesitant to enter that trade. Obviously, I really do like this indicator. There's so many cool things that you can do with it, but it's still important to do some back testing of your own to see how it provides confluence with your own trading style. You can tell that, I actually don't have very many things outlined on this indicator. There's a whole bunch of things that I could add to it. But I like to keep things pretty bare bones here, just because I like having nice clean charts and that kind of thing. We'll just wait. A bunch of these signals will get added in here. Yeah, so you can just add a whole bunch of different features. For those of you who haven't watched yet, my previous video, I did go over a lot of the customization with these new MDX algo indicator updates. A lot of very cool stuff, so be sure to check out this video too if you haven't yet. But yeah, like I said, I like to keep mine pretty bare bones here. I take a lot of the features off. Just because I like to do my own analysis and then bring some of the features in from these indicators. But yeah, I'm really liking them. Even the fact, we just have a whole bunch of very cool things with these indicators. So if you guys are interested at all in trying these indicators, there should be a 7-day free trial referral link in my description down below. Obviously, if you don't want to pay for them, make sure you cancel your subscription early. Do it a couple days early. You still get the full 7-day trial, I believe. And I think they're ending that promotion or the free trials come the new year. So that's why I say, this month might be a good time to try it if it's something that interests you. And like I said, if you don't like it, it doesn't fit your trade style, whatever, you can definitely cancel it. And yeah, as long as you're within 7 days, apparently you will not get charged. So very cool that you can take advantage of trying out these indicators for free and seeing if they're for you or not. But anyways, guys, I think that's about all I wanted to go over in the chart here. Yeah, like I said, the hourly here, it does look a little weak. It does look like, there's a chance that we just roll over here and break through this support, but we're going to have to see what happens. It's still early to say that whether or not that'll happen. Bringing up the MDX Algo 3 on the hourly chart here, and this is with 4-hour confluence. So now I'm on the hourly chart, and I'm using a 4-hour moving average here. And you can see that actually predicted things very nicely on this little move here too. we got below that moving average, or it flipped to red, and we just really consolidated along that resistance. Even got this little bearish divergence call out here, and followed by this nice little move to the downside. So very cool, very powerful how you can add these trend confluences. And again, these it just makes your charts look super cool in my opinion. So I'm a big fan of this. But anyways, guys, that's just a few things I wanted to put on your radar for tonight. If you do appreciate my content, please do me a favor. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you haven't. And with that, I'm out. Stay safe, my friends. Peace.